Qualifying for business loans, business credit, and many other services, it isn't as easy as somebody makes it out to be, or perhaps you know that. And I'm going to be getting into that, as well as free business funding at 0% interest for 6 to 18 months and much more. Hi, my name is Michael with Viral Funding Solutions. I'm a business funding expert, or in other words, business loan broker expert. And no further introduction, let me get right into the content. I have a lot of people that I've helped get funding in many different industries. And I'm coming from what I look to be looking from the top to the bottom. And I say that in a very confident and certain way. I'm never cocky. I'm not like that. It's not my personality. I don't pressure anybody. I don't do these sales tactics. I don't even like to use the word sales and in any kind of context, whether it's good or bad. I just don't come from that background. But I've helped out a lot of businesses get the right type of financing. And what I've been seeing in a repetitious, vicious cycle of more than anything are business owners getting disapproved for all types of financing. And I want to get into why that is and how you could potentially look more attractive to these lenders. So there are the 3 C's of capital that I go through with each and every client: credit, cash flow, collateral. You either have one of these 3, 2 of these 3, or all 3. And I look at maximizing your potential around one and even multiple of these. Excuse me for that. I'm an introvert. And so being on video sometimes for me, although I have learned that skill set, it sometimes comes and it goes. I'm better at writing and doing things like that. So I go through those 3 C's of capital with each and every client. If you have none of these, then we work on business trade credit, vendor credit, fleet credit, store credit, as a startup, as a non-startup. And again, keep in mind, I'm an expert at what I do. I've been in this industry long enough. I run other businesses in the digital marketing agency, lead generation space, affiliate marketing in the health space, other verticals, other ventures. This is my primary focus. And I normally don't express these things or these thoughts, but a lot of business owners get disqualified because they don't know what it takes to qualify for the beginning. They don't know what issues, what problems they need to address, and not just masking these symptoms, but actually going after that diagnosis or diagnosis, multiple. And so what I've seen time and time again for each and every one of these, let me just cover a few things on the surface level. For credit-based, let's begin there. If you're trying to do creative credit-based financing, that's an option. I've done plenty of that. I'm doing a lot of it right now. I've gotten a lot of people approved for it. They've taken their funding. Other people who would just pause somewhere in between, that's on them. That's not on me. And so what I've seen time and time again is there could be closed accounts, there could be revolving credit issues, there could be charge-offs, bankruptcies, foreclosures, liens, late payments, not enough age history. So do you hear a repetitious pattern here of what could go wrong? That's what should be signaling in your head right now, is like, oh, there's so many of these reasons that I could get declined for. And it isn't easy on my side because I see a lot more declines than I see approvals. I get a lot of clients approved, and that's past the pre-approval stage, by the way. That's not just pre-approval and then that. That's another story. But in the credit-based space, there's so much that you can get declined for. And that's the problem. There are many reasons why you could get declined instead of getting approved. That's what the issue is with this. And I get it, it's not necessarily the lenders or the guidelines' faults. That's just what it is. The barrier to entry is low enough. But 2, you have to know what to look out for to get qualified. What are the requirements before just putting out another inquiry? A lot of you are doing that. Number 2, and I can go into it even deeper on each and every one of these 3 just so you know. I'll leave more information in the bio and in the description. I'll leave a questionnaire form that you can fill out where I'll get you a very highly personalized and customized email response on your best funding option and options thoroughly broken down from a real expert. Number 2, cash flow, revenue, income-based financing. I have my computer here. I need the light to stay on. This is where we can do it on the performance of your business bank statements month to month over the last 3 months, 6 months over the last year. We can look at cash flow. There are higher tier services where we do cash flow analysis, we do profitability, and a few other things. But cash flow based, let's break it down to a micro level. We look at month-to-month bank statements. We'll ask for at least 3 months of the recent bank statements. And when we do a final underwriting bank verification check, we'll look at the current month for a majority of that, just to make sure we can ACH deposit, ACH withdraw. There's a few things. You guys will learn this from me if you haven't already. But reasons why people can get declined there galore. Just like credit-based, but in the revenue-based, I see more. In the revenue space, well, credit-based, you have to have good credit. Revenue-based, it's like, okay, deposit infrequency, insufficient funds, not sufficient funds, negative days, too many negative days, ineligible credit, eligibility requirements, or some things that they look at, although they weigh revenue more heavily. The revenue was actually lower this month than it was last month, so for that reason we can't get you anything, or we have to give you a lot less. The previous defaults, past default with the past default judgment in place. I haven't even touched the surface level. There's so many more reasons, and I've seen all of these declines even before we started an application. And a lot of the times, it doesn't fall on me at that point. Whether the business owner wants to communicate that with me in whatever capacity that means, that's up to them now. I've done what I needed to. That's up to them to do that. Is it my job to go in there and do it all for them? Not necessarily. There is credit repair. There is some things on business credit we can do, but that's where most people end up, is business credit. When they find out, okay, I couldn't do creative credit-based financing. I can't do collateral. I have insufficient collateral. I don't want to have to give up collateral. Okay, you don't have the credit already. You don't have the collateral, or you don't want to give up the collateral. How about the cash flow? Well, I don't want to work on that service. I've heard of those advances/term loans with medium to higher rates. Okay, can we do a bank term loan? No, you can't. Why can't you do a bank term loan? It's sufficient FICO SBSS score, liquid credit. You don't have 155 or 175 plus. Okay, now is there something else we found out on your personal credit that wasn't revealing in the beginning, or you didn't communicate this as it was asked to, or you didn't go through the parts that said don't apply, or make sure you learn about this first before doing anything, and then you still did it anyways. Well, I don't have time. I'm a business owner. Yeah, I run multiple businesses too. Ask me how I have the time here and to send you emails on exactly detail per detail on what those services are and what it takes to qualify. And I work with the best lenders and underwriters that are out there, guys. I've been in your guys' position, completely new to business and not getting funding and running those businesses and still having them till this day. And at one point in my younger 20s, working 9 to 5 in a financial logistics role, one of my latest positions, I couldn't move up another position. I couldn't get paid more. A supervisor in front of me didn't want to retire. It was his time. He stayed longer. Him and his wife talked it over, all this stuff. But then the company ended up going down under. I had to go back on unemployment, food stamp cards, and that was not a good feeling again. And I didn't want to continue doing those things. And I went to school academically. I studied. I went to school and I played Division I soccer. I did sociology, and then I transitioned into a major in chemical engineering. My mind works in math and systems. And from there, then I saw the market. I eventually wanted to start a business. Not that it was difficult. It was kind of boring for me, some of the math there. But my favorite class is chemistry. And then I moved over into business administration, and then there I went up. I worked in construction, manufacturing. I worked the fields. I didn't actually just get a cubicle and say, here's your room. You can do whatever you want there. Or here, crack some numbers for me. No, I had to actually go out into the field. I was in a manufacturing company with my dad too, in an aerospace company working on the machining. And I was working on the tooling, and I was learning all that. I was doing the machining and doing a lot of that. But over time, I got into these other roles and what I should have done from the very beginning anyways, but you learn through experience and you work with others. But all this said and done, I'm going to bring this around, and I know I wanted to keep it short, but there are a lot of reasons why you will not qualify, period. Like right now, I have somebody in right now who is ignorance. I can't respond back to that person. Ignorance. They didn't listen to me before. They're not doing what is asked of them. They don't deserve my attention. Now, this person right here, really cool. I'll respond back to them because them and I, we have a great relationship personally and in business. And whether we did or not is besides the fact. But when people respond to me, I can't even tell you what they responded back to. It was like ignorance. And so here, this person didn't watch the video. It's very telling to me when they respond back like that. Well, I don't have time. You have time. You make time. You know my content. Sometimes I tell it all in an email, but other times people don't take the time to go through these things. That's not on me. That's like, hey, save me time and energy. You're gonna do what's gonna be the least amount of effort and resistance. So if you don't have to click a link to go view the qualifications or the requirements, or you don't have to go watch a video or read a blog post that's probably 500 words, you can't even bookmark that and then come back to it. That shows me a lot about you. It does. It tells me a lot about whether you're going to look at something right, you're going to overlook it, and a lot. It tells me a lot about a person. It tells me more about a person than it does tell me about their business. And so I do want to bring it home now and go to the comments. Collateral. Insufficient collateral. You don't have the amount of sales that the lender wants you to have to be able to take that collateral. You don't meet the minimum of $250,000 in some cases is what they want at a minimum that they can lend you out to make the ROI worth it. Your property is stationed in a place before where it's in a zoned property where it won't work. You're trying to do a construction project where it won't work, and it's like, I'm not laughing to laugh. It's like laughable because it's like professional laughable. Like, my goodness, all of these reasons, and there's many more that I haven't even mentioned in this video. And I covered this in another one, and I sent this out to other agents and brokers. And keep in mind that I have trained a galore amount of them. And I don't say this to sound cocky because I'm not like that. I've earned my keep, personal and in business. And I'm looking from the top down. And I see a lot of declines. A lot of people gravitate to me because of my loyalty. They know that I'm an introvert at heart. I'm deathly afraid to even be on phone calls, to even be here on a video. I can do them very well now because I've learned the skills from the other businesses that I've done. But in a sense that, back on topic, you won't qualify. Not to sound redundant, there are many more reasons that I just mentioned. A lot. And a lot of you come to me like, let me break down a list like of some examples. I won't give you verbatim. But here, I see information from what we did with soft pulls. And I'm just looking at the credit side. Let me just look at the credit side and go down this list for you guys. But it's about fixing the diagnosis, and if you guys need help with that, I'll leave more material down below. Recent inquiries, they have to pay down certain debts. Too many revolving accounts with a high enough balance. Those we can pay down with a payday loan or another option. Let me find another one. I'll find the ones that have disqualified on them. And there's many more. I'm just looking at some of them. This person here has insufficient revolving credit history. No major revolving credit card accounts. Not good enough. Open collections. Not good. Even worse. Charged off accounts. Bad. Too many recent late payments. Like, there is no solution for that person. Like, I could have just read you the first part. Insufficient revolving credit history, and I would have known already that they wouldn't qualify. And looking at their credit, they wouldn't qualify just based on things like that. And so it's more than just a credit score, guys. It has a lot more to do with all of the stuff. Credit, revenue. If we're looking at revenue-based financing, and credit is less of a concern, you can have bad credit. Yet there's still something with the credit eligibility factor that's holding you back. If you're already missing payments and you're doing all these other things with other providers, how are we going to give you a loan? How are we going to give you an advance? Does that make sense? In no world does that make sense. And so you could tell me as much as you want to, but if I had the money, then I could make those payments. Here are my projections and here are my assumptions. I know business math very well. I know all this stuff very, very well. Being in it as long as I have been and seeing all of these declines in approvals more than the majority of people will ever in this industry, I know to a T when I go through it with people, like, no, that won't work for you because of this and that. I'll give you the reasons. Now, that's on you now at that point to then go, well, I'm going to go find out for myself because this person here told me that I wouldn't qualify. See, I won't say anything more. Just go do what you need to do. It's fine. Everybody has their own egos. Everybody has their own stubbornness, hard-headedness, ignorance. It's fine. But if you're not like that, okay, good. If you are, we leave that out the door. If you want to work with an expert who's very energy and time efficient in all this, I have processes, systems, and automation set in place to make sure you get the very best. After this video, I got to go back into my email inbox like I am right now, and I'm going to be sending all these email questionnaire responses back to people. You qualify, you don't qualify. Here's where you could potentially qualify. Here's the details to this option. Now that's on your plate now. Are you going to be responsive? Will you allow for feedback? Will you be patient? Will you then say, like right now I have an example where they don't want a cash advance, but that very well is there. I don't want to be the guy who says, you got to get medium to high rates. I never like doing that. Those products exist for a certain clientele. And whether that person's going to double, triple, quadruple their money, that's what it should be used for. It's cash flow dependent. It's something that could impact it greatly. If you don't have enough of it already, more money goes out than what comes in. You keep less, more of it, you move it out, depending on those interims or those periodic times. But if that's your only option, and you can qualify, I have business owners who all day, I'll get business owners, literally guys, I'm not kidding you. I'll get business owners who are generating like 28 to 50 million plus per year. They're generating 2 to 10 million easily per month. And I know how they're doing it. I know their business model. And after discovering what they have, I go, move on. This person, I have to tell them something that they don't want to hear. And I have to do it not necessarily through phone. I'll do it through an email, or I'll do it in another communication channel at that point. But it's like, dude, but you're doing, your debt to income. I got it. I understood. You were telling me that how much you take versus how much you put back into the business. And your debt to income can be rather low compared to that. But it's more than your debt to income. You've closed accounts. You haven't paid a remaining balance. Like, how are you going to seek out any kind of credit-based financing with these things looming? And these things are stated. And yet every day I have people send me the application. Just send me the application. I don't have time for this and that. Oh, so you just wanted me to send you an application that you could just fill out, and whatever happens, happens, and just because it's a soft inquiry, it wouldn't matter? And if it's a hard inquiry at that point, it wouldn't? Oh, now it would. I think I've gone on long enough. Let me go to the comments. I saw your comment. Last name, though. Probably be more familiar with that. Does anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns before I get going? I'll try to leave the replay on YouTube. I know this, guys, isn't... I hate bringing this topic up. But I think it benefits you to know, hear, see it. Because not a lot of people are drilling this stuff to you guys. You guys get away with things very easily from others that are not really brokers. You question who you are communicating with. You wonder if they really care about you and your business, not just business. Do they really understand business? I mean, I have another document right here, and I have another stuff on my Excel that I went through earlier, and I'm looking at my numbers. I'm looking at everything. And so I'm in that world like you guys are every single day. I don't want to... I do that whole... because it's like... introverts understand it more than most, but it's just like... you can only do so much to a point, and certain people just can't get things... like... I have empathy, sympathy, yes, but to an extent. Is it supposed to be given? And when I get emails like this, like I have a specific person here, Like, these people even get upset. They're trying to reach out to me because I train people, and I don't say this to sound aggressive or mean, but people have misconstrued conceptions and perceptions of things. And if you're not there right away, even if it's been weeks or so that you didn't respond back, hey, I get flooded. I'm not supposed to cater to each and every individual right away, whether I have a team that can get to it right away or not. I have my own clients, and I'm telling you guys from this point of view that I have other agents, brokers, referral partners, whatever you want to call them, whoever it is, that, like, I'm seeing an email right now, and I go, okay. It doesn't really bother me one bit. And the reason why I say it doesn't bother me is not because I'm, irresponsible or unaccountable. I work with clients every single day. And yes, I have to, and I put a calendar together where, hey, I'm going to get back to this person when I can get back to that person. If I couldn't get back to them because of something that came up, I have to change things. And so I'm working with a lot of clients every single day, guys, and I have these kinds of emails that come to me, and they really are, I pay mind to it a little bit if I have to. Not okay. And eventually I'll get back to them, but people have this whole, like, I'm entitled to get your response back, and you didn't reach out to me, and because you didn't reach out to me, I'm going to ask for somebody to do something else. And go ahead. But why should I feel guilty if I know my position? Instead, these people can ask, hey, Michael, I know you're very busy. I don't want to take anything away from you, but when you have a chance, can you please reply back to this? Or, hey, Michael, I know you're just so busy. I just saw some material on this. I'm going to get going. When I got started as a business loan broker, do you believe I had guidance? Not exactly. I didn't buy courses on this stuff. I didn't get it underneath somebody's wing. I went out there and I learned. I'm very savvy, cerebral of a person. I'm very cerebral. And I started applying these things, applying what I've learned. But a lot of people feel entitled. Oh, I feel deserving. I feel entitled. Look at me with my nice suit and my collar down or collar up. And even without that, it's like, are you trying to be very presumido? Are you trying to be very, like, I get it. You want to look the part. You want to feel the part. I get that. But think about the person in the room who doesn't look like that. Have you ever thought about maybe they're the person who knows their stuff more than most? Because that could very well be me. I could be that person in that room, really, who I can dress nice for a certain occasion, but more leisurely, more casually. And people are like, yeah, that guy doesn't know his finances. Wait till you find out. It's not about always how you look. It's not always about... it's about how you feel, of course, and it stems from how you look as well and a few things. But going outside of all of this, just make sure that you work with someone who will be in that corner of yours. And if I'm in your corner and I'm trying to help you stay in the ring, but you just keep trying to get out of those ropes and like, yeah, I'm done, you quit. That's what a lot of people are doing right now. And credit-based and cash flow-based. And I have it in collateral-based. I'm right now waiting for an update on the specific cash out refinance situation from my underwriter. And there's just so much. Good question. In the bio or in the description, I have a questionnaire, and I'll probably put my link tree there. So if you click there, there will be several options, and there will be a 0% interest. There will also be a personal funding option. The 0% is more so, but it is built around credit-based financing. For those of you out there looking for just free, there's grants, there's credit-based at 0% interest to begin with. There's a few other setups, especially if you have certain contracts in place that can determine it to be free for a certain amount of time until you pay somebody back, you can say. There are a few others. You have the employee retention credit, the fully refundable payroll tax credit up to $26,000 per employee, and quite a bit more. So I think this is where I do want to leave it at. I'm very professional, guys, at what I do. It's just sad for me to see that a lot of business owners can't qualify. And I work with all types. You can have the best credit, your 750 credit score, yeah, but it can paint another picture. You have closed accounts, you haven't paid the balance on that, you have too many recent inquiries, you've been looking around, shopping around, there's a few other things that's insufficient. Oh, but you have a high enough credit score. That doesn't mean you're going to get approved. And I see it every day in this market. I was just in a meeting right now with the crew of people, and I was putting stuff in the comments section because I'm working too. I'm not going to be there showing up and talking and like all these people do. I got things to do. And I'm very diligent about my time. Yeah, it might have been a 30-minute meeting, but 30 minutes between 10 to 10:30, that's my time that I need to be doing something like this with my client, or this is what I need to be doing on Facebook, on Instagram. Boom, done. Like right now, when I get done with this, I got to go do something else. And so see how I take care of my energy and time. I don't allow people to bring me down. You can have one bad moment, but your whole day can't be decided on one bad, 2, 3, 5. No matter how many bad moments, you can't let that decide your day, period. So what do you got to do then? Now this is a whole nother topic for another time. Character. Work on your character. Character, aspirations, values, beliefs, attitude, efforts, being punctual, being disciplined, there are traits and stuff like that. But working on yourself and personal development, that's the key cornerstone to all of this. Exercising, lifting weights if that's your thing, or combining the two, cardio, going out for walks, reading books, getting in masterminds. Doing all of these little things, guys, translates into your business. How do you think I've become so patient? Or my younger brother isn't, or other people in my family aren't, like my dad isn't. My mom can't be more. Because you learn it. But I don't have time, Michael. Just like I don't have energy and time for you right now. But I do. So how am I giving you my extra 5 minutes? So you're telling me you don't have an extra 5 to 10 minutes set aside a day before you even get started, but it's going to take effort. See, I know how to combat all these objections I'm not going to get into, but okay, what are your current habits and your current routines? What do you do at this time and at this place? Okay, from 9 to 9:30. Okay, from 8 to 8:30, I'm taking care of the kids. Okay, what are you doing before 8? So I get up normally at around 6, and from 6 to 6:30, I have to go through some paperwork. Do you really have to go through to plan your day? You have to go from 6 to 6:30? Yes, I do. And if I don't get this, what are the repercussions of that? Significant, medium, low risk. Low risk? You think if you were to push your 6 to 6:30 from 6:30 to 7, you still have enough time? Yeah, but I like getting up early in the time of the day. And okay, but what do you do when you wake up at 6 a.m.? What does your routine look like? I can tell you mine, guys. And again, we're done with this, but I wake up early, drink some water, fold my bed sheets, the last one usually or so. But I like to fold it anyways. That's kind of like a habit of mine now that I have. Just want to fold it, my side. Okay. Bathroom. Do my thing. Brush my teeth. I even brush it with my left hand side because it's building the muscle. I'm not left-handed. I'm right-handed. But I'm building this muscle. And so I'm brushing my teeth with my left hand, doing things on my left side of my brain, right side of my brain. After I brush my teeth, I'll go back into my room. Complete silence. I don't want disruption. So what I'll do there, and you can say, well, I have kids and I have, find a time. And so I'll stand there. I'll actually look out my window because I have a really nice view. I'm very grateful and thankful for that. And so I'll look out into all the trees here in Washington. I'll look over the top of the houses. And I'll also look at the top of the clouds, and I never take that for granted. I almost have a shivering feeling going down my neck because I'm so grateful and thankful. I don't know how many of you are or can say that. you are, not the view or anything like that, but how many of you actually take every day and have appreciation? You get to breathe, you get to think, you get to say something that other people don't have the privilege or the honor to do that, or don't have any of that to do. They don't even get to eat. And so I stand there and I'll close my eyes and I'll speak to people who are not here, like my grandma, grandpa, my dog brother, and then I'll speak to the man above and do a few things like that. And then after that, I'll get into saying 3 things that I'm grateful and appreciative for. After that, then I'll get into, I kind of do like a self-talk, like I'm talking to somebody, like I'm preparing, like, hey, how are you? How are you doing? How's your life? How's it going? How have you been living? Why is it that problem? Why do you think that is? I'm kind of running through some scenarios and just kind of jogging. It's like when you're warming up to go on a run, you're warming up your brain. And so after that, then I will count from 10 to 1, focusing on my breathing. In my head, I count normally. And then after that, I will lay down on the ground and do a bit of yoga. I'll do a little bit of some bridges. I'll do a little bit of this, kind of move around a little bit, crack my back. I'll move my right leg over my left leg over my right, crack my back a little bit after there's enough fluid in my back, in my water. It's lubricating my joints, my muscles, and all my vertebrae. And then now I'll get into doing about 5 push-ups. I'll do about 5 push-ups. Then I'll probably move it into 10 push-ups over the next 15 or so days. But normally I stay at 5. You got to do something that takes least resistance and least effort to do to build that habit in that routine. That's what you guys need to focus on. Is I do about 5 push-ups per day in the beginning. And then if in a week's time, then I'll move it up to 10. And then 10 to 15. But normally I'll do 5 every single time. Got my 5 in, I turn around. I sit down and I do my meditation. I'll literally sit where I was and do my meditation. And I'll sit there for as long as I need to. And I have such a good habit and routine now where I can get locked in, and all of the distractions, rather there be no noise, but with there's noise, you clear all that distraction. And no, I don't want like kids or kids running into the room, or there's this distraction. I want to and I need to get it done at that moment. And the people closest to me know that. Hey, this is Michael's time. I have to respect that. He has built a routine up for so long. And 2, he knows what he's doing. He knows like what this will help him with at that time. And so a lot of you guys wake up already with this whole like scratching your butt, or just like, okay, I got to get my day started. And I'm not trying to speak down on that at all, but take some time for yourself each and every morning to calibrate your this. And so after I'm done with that, I'll then probably do, if it's a Monday, like here's my routine. Mondays, I do weights, I do resistance. So after this routine is done that I just went through, and it more or less changes sometimes depending on drinking the water and this and that. But then after I'm done meditating, I'll turn right around. My weights, my dumbbells are right there in my room. I'll start doing my chest, and I do this, legs up a little bit. Then I'll start doing this. I'll do side to side, 1 up, 1 down. Boom, done. I'll do about 4 to 5 or so of those sets in low weight, about 25-pound dumbbells on both sides. And then after that, I'll do biceps. I'll do biceps for a few rounds. And in that circuit, then I'll also start doing my shoulders. And then I put them back down, take a rest, back into biceps. Put them down, take a second, breathe, back into shoulders, if necessary that way. And then after that, then I'll start doing my back. The 2 25-pound dumbbells, total of 50, 25 for each side. I'll start doing my back. I'm working my upper back. And then what I'll do then is I'm done. So I'll set them down, and then I'll go shower. I'll shower, I feel good, my mind. All right. And then I'll get to work. I'll actually get to my books. Here are my books right here. And I have many more of them. I've reread some of these books over and over again. And I'll set that then down. Wherever I'm reading it, there's a certain environment where I go into and I'll read these, or if I'm in the room at a specific day, then I'll read them in there. And then I'll put them down. Then I'll go to my journal, or I have it right here. Actually, it's right here. Look, I'll even show you guys. I missed 1 or 2 days just recently, but I will date it like today, 5/9, and I state 3 things that I am grateful and thankful for. I thought of them earlier, but here I am again, and putting them down and writing them down visually helps you. And so today I am grateful and thankful for being mentally tough, because a lot of people take that for granted. Today I am grateful and thankful for being and staying consistent. Today I am grateful and thankful for being on time. Sorry, that word being. And so I normally don't share that with anybody. And there's other days where I'll say other things, and it can be something that happened already in the beginning. It could be something that happened yesterday, days before, or not. But these are things that I go through every single day. Today, tomorrow I'll do the same thing if I don't miss it. I usually don't. 5:10. And I have to do this before I start doing anything on my computer. Sometimes I'll get on there and I'll start doing this at the same time. But I won't go too far into my work yet where I have enough time to write this down. See, my expectations, guys, my standards are up here. And it didn't form over a day. You could tell me all day long, what are your business expectations? I can go and review. I can go in and audit. I can go in and look at a business because I've done this for business owners. But I want to know why you. Why your company, but why you? That's what I need to know. Why should I gravitate to you? Why should I give you my business if you will be my broker? No loyalty, stubborn, hard-headed, but they're working on it. Okay. They're knowledgeable, though. What's my opportunity cost? What's my trade-off? See, I'm running through these scenarios a lot. Does anybody have questions on any of this? I'll give it about a minute. I'll go to the comments in just a second. I have a few emails to get back to. Look, like this, I gotta see if they were previously on my list. So I'm gonna do this first. They want a phone call. I'm not gonna give them one. I'm gonna tell them there's a better way, a more efficient way. They just send me an email, a new person, introducing themselves. Can I schedule a short call with you? It won't be a call. Only because it's too high of a risk. And I care about people. I care about knowing them. Yeah, but I gotta make sense of it. I gotta make sense of this energy and time that I'm putting into these. And so normally I'll send you guys to a questionnaire. It's on my site, and I know how to pre-underwrite these files if I didn't tell you. I know what the best underwriters and lenders are looking for, by far. And so when I put these emails together, you'll see what your best funding option and options are. I may even put it in a PDF format that I've been doing a little bit more recently. I did it in the past, but it was just too much friction. Like, I had to speak with Adobe yesterday, and I had to go through a few things with my team. How can we reduce friction? How can we reduce resistance? How can we take this process and eliminate these 2 to 3 steps? Well, to eliminate that, we would have to shorten the cycle of time between somebody submitting a questionnaire, you analyzing it, and then you putting it on Word. From Word, then I put it onto Adobe Pro. And then from Adobe Pro, do I need to edit anything? I would not want to edit anything because that would then add extra time. From Adobe Pro, then can I put it into an email? Now I have to click the email icon. Boom, now I can send it out. Everything that I need to send out is in that PDF to that client specifically. How long did that take me? The thing that should be taking me the longest time is the review. What should be taking me most time is the review, 1, and then 2, putting those documents together, putting those email drafts at least together, because I still need to go through and personalize and customize these things for each client. And so from the start to finish, depending on the client, it should take me no longer than 5 to 10 or so minutes per client to do these questionnaires. It shouldn't take me no longer than 30 to 45 minutes for the longer, more like higher revenue, cash flowing businesses. They have collateral. They can qualify for everything galore. And I have to position certain things in a way where it makes sense for them, and this is what will be best for their scenario. But a lot of people don't see what I'm doing on the back end, because I get it. You're just working on your business. You guys are just working on your business. I get it. Let me handle this. But it's when people come back like an ignorant email or ignorant emails that are received, like ones I'm looking at now. Let me see how this one is. They didn't read my email. They just read the subject line, clicked the email, probably read it, didn't click through the link, and I just replied back, there is no increase. Now here, that wouldn't work either. See how much the videos that don't cause attention for you guys, but are the most important ones, are the ones that get less, I don't want to say less views, but the ones that you guys are most attracted to are, how do I get another grant? How can I get an EIDL loan increase? Like, I released an email the other day. Here, I'll even read it word for word. Hi, their name. I said it to them. It's Michael, ... I hope you are doing well. Have you heard of the new SBA EIDL loan increase reconsideration alternative up to $150,000 from the SBA going fast? There's this new SBA 7A Bolt loan going fast. But besides that, the alternatives up to $10 million plus for good and bad credit. In fact, the 3 C's of capital, which I went over here. I won't go over that right now. Then there's a fourth, Click here to watch the EIDL loan increase alternatives. Like, it's right there. I put it even 2 to 3 times in that email. Yet, this is what people do. I got an email. Oh, reply. I got to jump on it. And then I got to go respond back to these emails now, telling people there is no actual EIDL loan increase. And I don't want to sound smart because I'm not like that. It's a read between the lines. Like, I listed it in the email. There was a link. If you click that link, it'll take you to watch the video where I didn't say there was an actual increase. This is the alternative to the increase. And so we wonder why a lot of business owners are in a position they are now financially or in other ways. And it's not just because of that. There are many reasons. But here, it's like, I'm not even going to respond back to that email or those emails until later today. I have other things to do. That's an administrative task that isn't immediate. It isn't an immediate like turnaround. It isn't an immediate, they're going to get funding right this second. And not just because of that I'm going to ignore them. And I'm not ignoring them. No, I'm not going to give them the contact information because this is not how the lender likes to be contacted. This person does not get it. So if somebody's asking me to send them information for a specific lender that I've already opened them up to, and yet they're still wanting to call and doing this and verify and doing this and doing that and doing this, just get me over what you need to send me over. That's basically it. And I said it in a very, very nice way. I'm not like that. I'm not that person, but these people are really servicing on the edge to put someone in that position. And I give people the benefit of the doubt, but I told them already what they can't do, and they're still ignorantly trying to do that. I need to refinance. No, I told you this isn't refinancing. This is working capital only, yet people don't listen. People don't want to change. People don't want to do what they need to do to actually get approved and be eligible. No. You've already eaten up a lot of my time. I tried to help a lot of these people out months ago, and it's still the same thing. No, I have a guy right now who I feel very bad for. It's very sad, but they can't get approved either. And I spoke with them actually over the phone, have a good personal and business relationship with them. And not every phone call, I'm not ever was going to give somebody a phone call to make sense. And at what time. And so here, they're asking me if there are other loans that I would recommend, based on my company, based on who I work with. And they're looking for low requirements. They're over leveraged. Simple as that. I've told them before. I get it. People always want to ask. Maybe there's something new. You're over leveraged, my guy. You got to clear the books first. You got to do this, that. Your use of funds. Like your business liquid credit. I've sent the material to focus on. I'm sure they haven't even been working on their trade lines, their accounts, none of that. None of it. And I explained this and I put it in stories and I put it in ways for them to really grasp that material. And it's just the same repetitious thing. Michael, can I qualify for this? Can I do that? I'll let it go on for a couple more minutes if anybody has anything. Some people just joined the room. I always tell people, you got to start off on your personal. I don't care if it's revenue based and bad credit is acceptable. If you get approved or not, it's besides the fact. What do you need to work on right now? Does anybody in this room have something to work on? Yeah, of course you do. Whether it's good or bad credit, poor credit, fair credit, excellent credit. Everybody has something to work on. High utilization on all revolving accounts. What revolving accounts? How many trade lines? How many accounts have you built? Why haven't you been building your business? Why do you know about? Okay, that's fine. See, it's okay. But you've been in business how long now? And you say you don't have any business credit? But I'm listed with, okay, so there might be some business credit reporting. Have you done anything to check it? I heard about them, but I really never understood. So what you're saying is you just let it go over. And you thought just by overlooking it or just paying no mind to it anymore, it's going to work itself out. These are things I do every day, guys. You guys need to look at your personal credit, business credit. If somebody can package it in a way that sounds better, that looks better, I can do that. But this isn't what that is. I can package it and say, hey, well, you gotta do it this way. I can put it in a nice PDF for you, make it look more presentable and more professional and more catered to my personal and business brand, which is fine in some cases. But will you do what you need to do? How many of you walk into a doctor tells you you have bronchitis, you have, I don't want to get into medical stuff, but you have a serious issue? Well, it's life. Depends, but can you do something about it? Yes, I can do something about it. What is it, my weight? Well, I'm just gonna, because you haven't addressed the issue. The issue is the habits, the routine you guys have. It's the beliefs. It's how you've been programmed. It's what you have been doing now for so long that has been working against you. And so we have to address the core of the nucleus. We have to address the atomic habit. That's where we got to go into. Why do you think a lot of these people who are shamed because maybe it is a weight thing. Let's just put that as an example. Let's just say, why do you think they feel that way? Do you think just showing them a picture is going to say, hey, you got to get this skinny? And that's going to only cause more anxiety. That's going to cause them to deflect. So you got to get better at delivering that message. I'll leave it open for about another 1 or 2 minutes if anybody has anything. There we go. Good. Somebody who comes to the table. I'm opening up an email right now. And I know who they are. I've gone through things with them. But let's say this specific person here, they're actually telling me about their credit. They're not afraid to hide what they have. Ooh, I'm going to go and apply. And then I get this approval. I kind of thought that happened. Yeah, but you had another inquiry now. And so here, they're telling me everything I need to know about their utilization, who they were following. So they have some preconceived notion, whether I agree with the person they are following or not, because I don't know 100%. There we go. This is a person that you want to work with every single day of the year, period. And it's not because they're telling me what I want to hear, but it is because, look, they've opened up to say, I want to do business credit. And they even gave me more specific information on business credit. Stuff I already know. Everybody's looking for something. Like, everybody wants something that doesn't exist. I'm seeing it all right here labeled. And I'll try to get to you guys. Yes, I apologize, William. I know we've gone over this before too, and I got a lot of emails to sort through, like a lot and a lot. I have quite a few to catch up with. I had to catch up with a gentleman yesterday. I know I'm going off here, but I hadn't contacted them in 3 to 5 days, and that's normal now anyways, because I get a lot. And so I take the time to go through each and every one of these, and I'll try to go through things. I gotta go past like 3 to 5, more than that, threads. And so I gotta go look through these. Yesterday I was just going through my emails from about May 5th through May 8th, and I still haven't finished those. I gotta come back here. I have everything to May 4th through May 5th, and I gotta keep going back. There's so many more, but I'm gonna get them done. I'm gonna go through them. I need to make sure I do. And sometimes I'll miss one here and there. Okay. Does anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns? You guys should see the comments that go on when I put like a reel on Instagram or Facebook. This stuff is fake. Or he's a scammer. It's so laughable. Without them even taking the time to even get to know who I am or what I do, how I can do it. It never bugs me. It's more of a, there's another one. And so, see, I'm not a word expressive person. I'm a action for my actions type of verbal communication. I'll leave it open for about 30 or more seconds. If somebody has something, I'll keep it open for a little bit. See, look, I'm keeping people on check. I want to make sure if I got a response for this or not. I'm that punctual. I don't take enough as an answer. Here's an example. Let me just quickly, I guess, go through these questionnaires I'm getting. And I appreciate you guys. Thank you for filling this out. This was filled out not even a minute ago. Just popped up in my inbox. This will be hard to finance. They're trying to do a purchase of an existing business. Do they have high value commercial real estate? Maybe not. Can we do a cash out refinance? Can we do 401k, IRA financing, seller financing? Even seller financing wouldn't work given their credit, perhaps, and a few other details. Oh, well, they're looking for a specific down payment. If it were better, like, they're gonna have to leverage a credit partner, and or 401k, and or cash out refi if possible, because I see no way of them even on their first round themselves, and they don't have the credit to even get them that amount. Collateral, HELOCs, I'm sure they are well aware of that, but whether they want it or not, or can or can't qualify, that's another question. Let's look at another example. Hard industry to fund, low revenue, low credit. I'd be surprised if they even get anything. If they get anything over 12,000. Fairly new business, just over a year. Working capital purposes. Yeah, but most people who want working capital too are just looking at having extra money in reserves more than anything. And with the specific file like that, they're going to have to take what they can get. If it's of use, put it to work, come back and get more. Or they use a credit partner. Everybody, about 40% plus of my clients and more, end up using a credit partner. Let's look at another one. That's an equipment client right here. I think they meant to put 2003 they started their business, because they put here in 2030 they started their business. Oh, they started their business in the future. Credit score, not a good credit score, let's just say that. They are a startup. They have 100% ownership of their business. They're not a homeowner or have a mortgage of 2+ years. Not a good sign. Their credit, that. How much funding would they like to get? And it also shows us those trade lines and more. Yeah, they're likely, they can, like, as a startup in that space, no, too high of a down payment. 1, 2, probably don't have sufficient enough to even service the debt to begin with. It's going to be a lot. Credit partner. And I'm going to respond back to them, by the way. I'll respond back to you guys on this stuff. I still have quite a few to get back to. Another example. 5 years time in business. Credit, not good. Let's just say it's above 600. They don't have FICO scores of 670 and above on all 3 consumer credit bureaus. Low to no monthly revenue compared to the time in business is not good. They won't qualify for revenue-based funding right now. They want to be doing at least $3,000 on their lowest month in the last 90 days. Not 5,000 plus as other lenders. Their average daily bank balance, I would never lend that person. I could already, just knowing that number, I would never. Period. They could be my friend or my family, I still wouldn't lend them. Annual gross revenue for the amount of time they've been in business. Maybe it's been on and off. There's been a lot of things. They have generated a good amount over the last 6 months in sales, but not enough for what we're looking at currently. Drop down. And a lot of times, keep in mind that a lot of business owners that I speak to don't even know their own like they don't even understand their own revenue. Like they don't know their own depositing frequency, or they do, but they don't know how much they deposit revenue. They're always moving in and out, and it's like, take the time to know this stuff. And so here, expansion, they need to use their funds for. They didn't say specifically what they're expanding in their business, but just to expand their business. Got it. They're not going to get that term length unless they get a credit partner and do credit-based financing, or have collateral to do some other form. That's not a specific collateral lender that would take it if it were not sales generated in their business yet, or enough sales, I should say. $1 million a lot of the times is what they're looking for. And so in this market too. So back here, let me look at another client. We're getting a little bit better now. So I can see how much they want. I see their time in business. I see their credit. And this is even before we've done a soft pull. So once we see those things, I can even determine more. Once I look at bank statements, financials, it's done. Right there, I know my stuff. And so here, FICO scores. Okay, they have personal credit. That's up there. Great. It's not great, getting close to excellent range. Awesome. FICO scores, yes, they have 670 and above on all 3 consumer credit bureaus. Great. Business credit, for 1 year in, they have business credit. Well, they probably know what they're doing. Your monthly sales, your lowest monthly sales in the last 90 days, the last 3 months. Okay, they meet the minimum of where I can look at specific lenders in that category for their specific industry. Now I got to look at more with insufficient funds, if they have any non-sufficient funds, negative days, and other stuff. But here, then I have their average monthly revenue. Their average daily bank balance is a little bit suspect. But man, if they have that, unless they're giving me a monthly, but that's high. Like that's something that a bank would look at and go 30,000 or 40,000. I'm gonna give them, based on just that number alone, it's gonna even increase the amount. Maybe they'll get 1 to 2 times the amount of that. The bank will get 150,000 in some cases. Not always, but you can see that. And they have to look at other things with real estate. But you have average daily bank balance. You have the annual gross revenue. Okay. All right. See, if this person had, this is a setup for, look, they're in the transportation industry. This is going to be hard for them because trucking and transportation logistics is just very high risk right now. But they could leverage their credit for what they need, and what they could get with their bank statements alone wouldn't be enough. So if they have credit and they can supply at least 2 years of mandatory personal tax returns as they're self-employed, and or if they were a current employee, if you guys are, with pay stubs or another way of verifying that. Usually pay stubs though will ask for W-2s, pay stubs. But a lot of the times you see with this, 2 years of personal tax returns mandatory, and that's the direction I'm going to lead them in, period. It could be that they want to use this funding for equipment, but I could already tell with the amount they're generating in their business, if they got 1 to 2 times that amount, they probably get at most $15,000, and they need to get somewhere closer to $60,000. So if you do the quick math there, which I won't get into all of it, think about that down payment. Think about other approvals. And so their credit though helps them. They can lower the percentage, but they only have about a year's time. So in a high risk industry, rates can also come up even with better credit. And so that situation is set up for credit-based financing. Now, they're not even done yet. They still have to see if they'll even get, I'll go through all these details with them. I'll lay it out for them in an email too. And I'll put it in a way that's very time and energy efficient for all of us. And so right here, that won't work, or it will work. Now let's look at another one. No credit doesn't help me on pre-underwritten file, but I'll do my best. They didn't state their credit. A lot of the times people think I'm going to use it again. I'm not going to use it against anybody. I'm not a creditor. It's confidential between you and I. Funding amount, okay, quite a lot. Can they back that up with collateral? Can they back that up with credit? Can they back that up with cash flow? Can they back that up by other means? Right now, it's not telling me. Okay, but they have a huge contract in who they're working with, an IBM. Got it. Okay, so he's done a lot of things in his employment. But again, I'll leave that to your imagination. So this is what I like. So at this point, I have this lady who's giving me their January, February, although January I may not consider if they're not in the red state. But February, March, and April we'll look at. So they're telling me why they only generated a certain amount because of certain reasons. But February, March, and then April months. And here it looks like they have been up and down. They've been fluctuating. Because of their March month, they won't qualify for revenue-based. It's way below the $3,000 limit. And they're doing this already. They're going up, and then they're back down. And then in April, they had a bigger month. Let's just say they had over 5,000. Yeah, it wasn't bigger than their January month. So they're doing this in January, February, March, April. So whether they waited until June to apply, it's irrelevant because of that March month. They're going to have to take into consideration April's month, April, June, July, and possibly apply back in August. I know it's not a good feeling, but if they had the credit, then we wouldn't probably have to wait that long. Now they don't have the credit, so what should we do in the meantime while they're working on that? And I can help them with the revenue if they needed to on any of that. Okay, then we can work on personal credit. Are they getting their personal credit repaired already? No. So here we have more details on their annual gross revenue. So I'm going to just kind of go over this one and go to the next one. Okay, They're not going to get that much, I could already tell, unless they're purchasing a business and they need that much. Is it really going to work? Their credit is in... Yeah, we're going to have to look at that. FICO credit scores, no business credit, ownership percentage of their business, low revenue business for the amount of time they've been in business. Oh, but they're looking to, okay, they're trying to do specific real estate financing needs. And if it isn't a specific real estate investor or lender, then we're going to look at credit-based financing for that. Next space. This person has to start somewhere with working capital. That's all I'll say. They're not going to get what they want in one shot unless they have a situation where they can do a cash out refinance because they're in construction. Now here, nope, won't qualify for credit. They want credit. Let's move on to the next one. I'll come back to these in time to send them emails and stuff. Credit-based financing. Already saw that. Okay, here's one where I have a business owner who doesn't have the right credit, but they have the right revenue. And so here I see their name of their business. Well, they should have actually listed their time in business, not their actual name there. It happens a lot. And then here I have the credit score. I have their FICO scores. If they have that or not, they don't. So credit isn't going to be the route unless they get a credit partner, 401k, do other stuff. Business credit, and forget the SBA loans, forget the bank term loans, even forget the business lines of credit. Those won't work. Even any other kind of credit-based financing, they're not want that. They're not even be able to qualify for that, for majority of it, unless they secure it with a deposit or some other way, or if it's lower cards where they don't have to do that, and they do more on their personal side. Now here, ownership percentage, I see that lowest monthly revenue high, so they're generating over 6 figures on their lowest month. And their current monthly revenue, let's just say it's over 125,000. Their current monthly revenue and the time that they submitted this questionnaire, which was 15 hours ago, I'll get back to them, is low, but that's because we haven't even gotten through the half of the month yet. But it's high. In the first 9 days, they've already generated close to 30,000. Average monthly revenue around their lowest month. Average daily bank balance, high enough. That's good. Annual gross revenue, let's just say they're generating over 1.39 million. Let's just say that. I'm getting closer though. Highest monthly sales in the last 6 months. They had a boom. They had 100, let's just say above 140,000 plus. It wasn't a big boom, but average monthly sales, they're sitting around that 115, let's say 125. Let's just say, not an exact number, but they're sitting around that. Okay, so it shows me they have consistency. And then when we look at bank statements, and if I didn't ask it already, we'll look at what those months look like, those deposits, what's that actual revenue? Has it been going really up? Has it been going down? What kind of... See, it doesn't end just there, and this is what it can be so dragging on, especially from our end. It's like, oh, yeah. Oh, well, no, they're not depositing frequently. And they're not... Well, it has to make sense, of course. Nobody's going to lend you if you're not depositing. Like, all these things make sense, but it just sucks. And so here... I have the use of funds. They want to expand. They don't have an existing business loan, which is like in this market, and everybody that normally comes to me, guess what? I want to refinance. I want to consolidate. I have 3 advances, 4 advances. Michael, can you? And I can do only so much. Not because I don't know I know my stuff. You can't because you're over leveraged or you just don't want to do that. Period. And so here, existing business loan, they don't have one. Like, what? Like, not even EIDL? Like, okay, they probably have EIDL, but existing amount, they didn't have to state that because they don't have one. They want 7 years plus. Now, this is where there's going to be friction and resistance, guys. This is where I go, oh, no. Like, here's the introvert in me. I don't want to be that person. And if they can work with me and go, I can start off with less. I don't have to have 7 years exactly. Okay, that's what the majority of people come to realize or they already know. When do they need the funds by? They need them in 3 meses, 3 months. Their industry, they're in the security industry. They would like to expand and take on larger contracts. That's all you got. If you gave me numbers, like a lot of people do, like that's even better. I can understand ROI better and understand all this stuff. But just letting me know that you have larger contracts. So that tells me that this person has a use for this money and turning this money and making even more money with it. Does that make sense, guys? And not just because he has contracts. Contracts are one big telling sign that can help you double, triple, quadruple your money more. I've seen it a consistent factor over multiple industries. A lot more in the construction space than any. Security industry as well. Trucking and transportation. And there's more. But here, I'm already pre-underwriting this file, and I got to look at bank statements still too, but potentially they get somewhere between 120 to 200,000. $120 to 240,000. But it's not to say they're going to get the max. We still have to look at things. Their credit, their stuff. Like, there's already stuff weighing them down that they have already debt obligations on. And so here, I'm going to give you guys a rundown of what the underwriting would look like. So, like I told somebody the other day, they were generating $4.2 million in their business last year, I believe it was from, yes. They could tell me all they want to do and what they take home and their debt. I told them even so that I worked with a business owner recently who was doing $2 to $3 million a month. And I get what they're saying, like I sometimes maybe don't, or they think I do know, it's just they want to make sure. I get it. I've really seen every kind of file, and I've worked with every type of person. And I know for this one, they won't qualify for SBA loans. Not even these bolt loans, not even these 504, well, that's a different thing. But I bet you they're gonna be the type of person to go, but I want to do this. Oh, I called this company. I bet you anything, because I usually, in an email or another way, get those responses. This is why I don't always take time on phone calls, guys. Because really, you guys are starting to see it, right? Like why I'm not a phone call guy for one. I could do it very well, but I don't do it to initiate. And so here, they're not going to get, no way they're going to get above $1 million on this. Not even past, in their market, probably not even past 250,000 right now. Even on a first round. They had greater revenue, we can get them closer to 250K. They're not going to get close to what they were wanting. And they're probably going to come back and say, I needed all this money though to secure the contracts. And okay, you've taken on more than what you can chew, obviously. You obviously don't have enough cash flow to take this money, put it back into your business, or to go get these contracts, or in other ways. Do you have collateral? Like, that's another area we're willing to explore. So for this client, we can combine. We can try to do, and I hate to say it, but they're going to get medium to high rates because of credit. No business credit. Time in business shouldn't be the issue, really, but their credit. Like, you've never worked on your business credit. And so whether you have or haven't, and you don't know, or if you do know what's reporting, this isn't going to work. So they could tell me, oh, well, I don't want those advances. You could tell me because my company is set up in a way that it is, and I get it. It doesn't make sense to do it. But there's a part in there that I heard, or that I know, and I've seen this being used for that, where if you took out a little bit, if you could put that to use, I'm not trying to pressure you or nothing, could you do this with that? What would your ROI look like? Well, I haven't really thought about that. Well, you should have thought about plan B and plan C, shouldn't you have? Should you have known your numbers for each and every single category that you're putting money in? Yeah, I should. But you wanted an SBA loan. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to ridicule you. They're going to ask you for projections and assumptions. You think it's just like a game. You guys just think it's just, I have a guy right now who's like, I don't even know what they're doing anymore. I really just, like, thank God. Like, I just didn't even go through some things with them. And then others I've had to go a little bit more. But certain people are just very like, I don't know. It's a character issue. And so here, what I'm seeing is they're going to have to start with an initial amount. Even if it's just $150,000 to start with, could they put that towards funding their contract or contracts? How fast can you pay that off? You're going to complete that job when? So between now and 6 months, we gave you, with their credit, underwriting, they're not looking at, they're looking at 7 to 11 months. Let's just put it that way. So what could you do if we gave you 10.5 months at 150,000? What if we gave you 11 months with 150? What could you do with that money? Oh, I got 2 to 3 contracts that can make me 1.8 million more by the end of the year. I'm going to have more cash flow because of these 2 to 3, but I have one contract that is around 350,000. But how am I going to find the other 200 or so thousand dollars on that, Michael? Hey, how about this? Do you have a credit partner? Do you have somebody that can assist you? Do you have collateral? Do you have this? I don't speak like that. But do you have that? Like sometimes I got to shake the leaves from you guys. Like I'm not like that at all. But some of you guys got to wake up and smell the roses. And here I see it. And here we're going to have to start them with an initial amount. I had a guy just yesterday, like I said. He got declined today. I sent him his email. They got declined for credit-based financing, yet they have a high revenue generating business, but their credit isn't in position. Okay, got a good response there. I'm gonna have to send them an email back on the SBA loan. It looks like we can try to do something there, potentially. But here, let me go back to this form, and I'm gonna go to another one. I'm gonna try to close up, guys, after 1 or 2 more of these. But tell me how many times do really you get to hear this? You guys go to YouTube, business loans, and you might see my video content, but I try to get into it as in deep as I can with or without that material. But how many times do you guys get video content? I'm just sick and tired of it. Or blog content where, hey, there's these high nerd wallets of the world and the Lendios, and I'm not trying to bash them down or nothing like that. But it's like you're almost listening to an automatic robotic response a lot of the times. There's more deeper stuff you guys need to know. And so here, yes, we're going to have to work on revenue-based, get a credit partner, 401k. Do they have collateral? If they have the collateral, they could have the AR in their business. They may not. Okay, so if we did an AR, if they had over 500,000 over the last 90 days, okay, how much of it do they have in total? How much are they willing to give up if they don't have an invoice factoring company? And then we can work on top of that and getting them revenue-based funding approved. 150,000 perhaps there, and then we get them maybe 700, 800,000 in account receivables. Okay, now we're getting closer to their 900 to $1 million plus range. All right, I'm willing to do that. Can they get funded by the banks? I don't know about that with that credit and with a few other things. So let me go to another form. No good credit. So this would be a credit partner needed. It's a long-term play because it's a rental. Credit's still an issue. They're going to get declined most places. And so here, let's look at another one. Low revenue, high amount that they want, like always. Low credit. No, it's actually up there now. Real estate uses. We can do something there. Won't work, even though the revenue is in position. Low time in business. Okay. Never mind. So here I have somebody with, they said they have no credit history. Like no credit history at all. All right. Tells me a lot of things I won't get into here, but they want to purchase a business. No credit history. Okay. That won't work SBA-wise. And how do we do this? This is a situation. Okay, I got that. But it's more than just giving me a sales price. It's more than just giving me the amount of revenue it generates. I need to know everything more, and I'm going to discover that if I need to. And then here, the business that they're trying to purchase in what industry. Okay, it's going to be a hard thing to do. Probably going to disappear after 4 months. Or for 4 months, like a lot of people do. Here, let's see, we have, okay, no credit. Didn't tell me that, at least. Yeah, This is an equipment financing setup. Over here. No, too much. I'm not gonna spend time on that. Those are the kind of questionnaires you don't even want to look at. Because people just don't, like, what is, you gotta ask yourself when you look at it, you're like, what is this? Either one is fine. LLC, T Corp, S Corps, tax advantages, whatever you guys are looking for. It's, when it comes to funding, more so on the revenue base, it's all more or less the same. So here I have one with credit, high enough. Okay. Now we're rolling. Here we go. Now we have one. That's better. Okay. Somehow there's some way, there's always some decline, always. Now here, high credit, low revenue. Collateral is another question. Okay. Oh yeah, definitely. For what they need to use the funds for, that's gonna have to be credit based. Here, low revenue, low credit, very likely low revenue, low collateral, not gonna work. They're gonna have to work on business credit and do a few other things to fix. No, that's gonna be hard, but I'm gonna try to send them an email when I get a chance to. Some people don't even know why they applied to that. They were told not to. Let me look at this. Okay. That one's more justified. Higher credit, good. They're gonna have to work on personal and not 0% interest business credit cards on that. Okay, here's a better one. See, the more complicated it gets, guys, the more it like, I want this, I have demands, and no, get away. Like, it's just not gonna, like, why are you presenting it this way? And maybe you do or don't know. But here, okay, better revenue, a lot better revenue, doing over $1 million in annual gross revenue. No, I'm not gonna call them immediately. It's not how this works. And so here, let's look at another one. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna end it right there, guys. I gotta go do some things. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Let me look up here to make sure I didn't miss anything. And if I did, I do apologize, guys. All right, I'll leave it at that. Thank you all for tuning in. Look out for my content in the future. There will be more stuff in the bio and in the description you guys can check out. If you guys want somebody who is loyal, somebody who doesn't give you the BS, somebody who is actually going to tell you how it's supposed to be done, as opposed to just circling around and trying to find those and only, SSN only loans. Like, ooh, those no PG, ooh. I'm not going to get into it right now, but be accountable, be responsible for what you borrow. Period. I don't care what it is. Anything in life you borrow, be responsible, be accountable, whether it comes with a personal guarantee or not. Usually these you see personal guarantees. But what we need to work on is your personal credit. What we need to work on is your character. What we need to work on is better managing of finances. No, but what we need to work on is business operation, product development, product market fit. But no, we need to work on a business plan. See how you're just making more excuses for the things you don't want to do, but you know you should do? Have you ever thought maybe the things that you should do are the ones that are holding you back from not getting approved for or getting approved for better? Appreciate y'all. Thank you all. I don't mean ever to be aggressive or negative. That's not my personality. Somebody has to tell you guys the truth and give you guys some tough love. Appreciate you all. Take care. Bye.